So, if you don't mind, I'll read the featured problem now that I mentioned before.
I don't mind, but just hold on a second, because I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that my new book, How I Help Others Help Themselves, is available right now to buy on all good bookstore fronts, including Amazon.
Can I read the featured problem now?
Yes.
Okay, they've probably had time.
Yeah. I was trying to leave some time so they could sort of take that information in.
Yeah. Okay, so the problem reads as follows. Dear Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda, my problem is thus. Things keep going bad in my life, and I want them to be good. I will give you a few examples. I have a problem with asthma, but my doctor always gives me appointments when I'd rather be at home. My parents are mad at me because I never visit, but I lose my car keys whenever we arrange a barbecue or other social gathering. I left my wife because she left the bathroom light on, even though I told her the whirring annoyed me. I got fired from my job because instead of emailing my manager some important documents, I deleted them and went home. I lost a deposit on my house because I dropped it somewhere, and I am now living back with my parents. At least they're happy that I see them more. Please help me, guys. The world has done a big number 2 all over my life, and I want to get it cleaned up. And they have put their name, but obviously I've omitted that for obvious reasons.
Should we give them a sort of name so we can easily refer to them?
Oh, yes, so we can refer to them.
Johnny?
It's a bit close to my name, that.
Oh, okay. Timothy.
Timothy. We'll call him Timothy. Yeah.
So, Timothy. So it sounds like the world has done a big number 2 on you, and I'm really sorry that that's happened, to be honest. It's not your fault that bathroom light made a big whirring noise. It's not your fault that the doctors always gave you terrible times. I do feel a bit sorry for you. Basically, you need to make sure that doesn't happen again. So mainly, control your life by maybe doing things that don't require other people's involvement.
So, cut himself off from everyone and live as a hermit, is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, not that bluntly, but if he stays at home and only has his parents who obviously he's now helped by coming home.
Helped?
Yeah, he's helped them, isn't he? They were very annoyed by the fact that he wasn't coming home, and now he is home.
Yeah, I'm just thinking he doesn't have a job. I'm just wondering how he's... it would be nice for them seeing that the son, little Timothy, or big Timothy, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what's he sort of contributing? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's eating all their food and he's running up their bills, but I'm not sure.
Well, to be honest, like, I don't blame him that he's doing that, because the world has already eaten into him, and the world has made him how he is. So why doesn't he just attack the world a bit?
I think we have 2 different views on this. On Timothy.
Okay.
Shall I sort of tell you what I think a little bit?
Yeah.
I think Timothy, if he hasn't, he needs to buy a floor-length mirror, and he needs to have a good long look at himself in it. Because I think a lot of these problems are coming from his brain.
Really?
I think so. I'm not saying.
Let's go through the examples again. Let's go through the examples again.
Okay.
So, read the first one out to me.
I have a problem with asthma, but my doctor always gives me appointments when I'd rather be at home. So
there's 2 outside factors there that's contributing to Timothy. He's got asthma. That's already one bad thing. The world's given him that.
Yeah.
Thanks, world.
Yeah.
2, the doctor doesn't even give him times where he wants to go in, and I don't think that's right. So that's nothing to do with Timothy. That's all to do with the world and the doctor.
What I would say to that is, as albeit a different doctor myself, if somebody can't make an appointment, I'm more than happy to make them another one that's good for them. And I do ask them when's good for them.
Right.
So I don't know why he can't pick another time. He says he'd rather be at home. That's not a very good excuse, really, especially if...
Well, it is if he needs to... If the doctor doesn't give him a time that he wants to go in for, the doctor should be serving him rather than... that's what he does. The doctor is... I assume he's gone to a private clinic because that's what he should do. The doctor's serving him,
That's what I'm trying to say, though. They will be serving him. They'll be asking him what times he can... they'll be...
Yes, but the doctor should be accommodating to his needs.
Okay, I think we'll have to write that one off. I think we should move on to the next one.
Right, let's move on to this next one.
The next one is... My parents are mad at me because I never visit, but I lose my car keys whenever we arrange a barbecue or other social gathering.
Again, 2 things. The parents, they're the outside source. Got nothing to do with Timothy. They've got their own wants, haven't they? It's not their fault. It's not Timothy's fault that he can't go to their house all the time. He's got other things to do. And then another thing, the world is losing his keys for him.
Do you think that it is likely that he loses his keys every time he's meant to do something with them?
No, I think it sounds like to me he always loses his keys when he wants to go to his parents because the world just wants to be against him. That's the only explanation I can think of.
Well, I'll come at it from a different angle. Obviously, I do a lot of work on the subconscious or unconscious mind. And there's a big group of people that say in psychology there are no accidents. And
well, there's evidently accidents here.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I think a lot of people would look at this and they'd say, he might not be meaning to lose his keys. He might not be... And he's not lying to us. I'm not saying he's lying to us. Timothy's not a liar. He's not saying that he's losing his keys.
No, I don't think he's a liar.
I think a part of him doesn't want to go to these barbecues. And so he misplaces his keys. Maybe he doesn't like the sausages there. Maybe he's always asked, he's always asked to bring things and he always, he doesn't like bringing buns or something.
Yeah. Well, that's just maybe because his parents are giving him too much pressure.
Yeah. I would agree with that. That could be a factor. And if
and the world is just adding to his problems. Anyway, let's go to this next one. Let's work through it step by step.
I think this one's one of the more egregious ones. I left my wife because she left the bathroom light on, even though I told her the whirring annoyed me.
Mm-hmm. So again, the bathroom light, that's the main problem.
I don't think this is a good way for Timothy to deal with... I wouldn't even call it conflict. It's a very low-level conflict. I don't think he's dealing with these things very well.
Well, have you got a whirring light in your house, John?
I do. I had to turn it off before this podcast.
Well, there you go, then. You know how annoying they can be. Imagine that, and imagine if he couldn't turn it off.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd leave my wife of 7 years because they forgot to turn a light off one time.
Well, I feel like the light... It might have been like a tipping point. You know what I mean?
Right. There were other things, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back, that sort of thing.
It may very well have been, but even so, I don't blame Timothy for doing that kind of thing because it's his choice, right?
Right. Yeah. No. I think I'm coming round now. I think he should have left his wife.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on to the next one.
I got fired from my job because instead of emailing my manager some important documents, I deleted them and went home.
Again, he's not a slave to his job. If he doesn't do his job properly, that shouldn't mean he should get sacked. You know what I mean?
I think that might be I think that might be a big reason to fire somebody from a job.
Look, if he is not feeling like he needs to do this big document thing, he can do it in his own time. He doesn't need to worry about time limits or anything like that.
So I have a lot of us at the Micro Clinic have assistants that will write up our notes from sessions and things.
That's a good point, actually, John. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's a good point. Why doesn't this manager have an assistant?
No, that isn't the point I was going to make at all, Barrett.
Oh, right.
So, I have an assistant at my job who writes up notes after sessions for me and things, because obviously I want to spend my time seeing the patients rather than writing up the notes. And if they simply deleted all of my notes, they just got rid of them and didn't give them to me, I think I would think about hiring someone else. I think that would be fair.
Yeah, you could hire somebody else, but to keep that person on, because, it's not in your right to sack them. Because they've not done anything wrong. They've just chosen a different way to what you wanted them to do.
I think they'd actually maybe be putting patients not in harm as such, but they'd hinder the progress they could make, because I wouldn't know what was happening session to session. I'd be doing it on the fly.
Well, all I can say for that, John, is maybe get used to that. Sometimes you need to be quick.
Barrett, I'm just going to ask you one question.
Go on.
Have you ever been in an office?
No, and I pride myself on that.
Okay, we'll go on to the next bit.
Okay.
The next one was, I lost the deposit on my house because I dropped it somewhere. And that's when he said he lives with his parents.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's not his fault.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. You know how I was talking about Hollywood movies?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've seen the classic Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life, but there's a moment, quite pivotal moment, where James Stewart's character's lackey, we'll call him, loses a load of money which was very important for their business. And it wasn't his fault. And I don't get mad at him when I'm watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is a genuine mistake. That's just... That is life. I'll agree with that.
Okay, so we've gone through all this. We've agreed that life is hard for people.
Yeah, life is hard, yeah.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, what would be the advice you give to John? Not John, that's you. What would be the advice that you give to Timothy going forward?
Okay, I'll give my honest advice, and you might not agree with it.
Well, yeah, I'm not here to say you're wrong.
Yeah, so if he came to me with these, I'd say, life is hard. I'm not disputing that. Life is harder for some people than it is for other people. And some of these might be, bad accidents that he's done. But I'd say the frequency of these things happening and the way that he's kind of worded this letter makes me think that he needs to have a little bit of a think of how he acts, and I could help him work through.
Can I just interrupt you there, John?
It's not a judgmental.
Can I just interrupt you there?
Go on.
I think you're wrong about this.
You just said you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I also feel like I can tell you if you're wrong in confidence. But I do feel you're wrong here because really, he's done all he can. He's done all he can to do this, to fix this problem. What
has he done?
What's he done?
What has he done? Yeah.
Well, he's moved out. He's moved to his parents, and he's run away from most of these problems, which I think is the right thing to do. So then he wouldn't have to worry about these problems anymore. One of the best ways to solve problems is to forget they exist. And also to...
No.
I think it is. And I'm not appreciative of your shaking of your head, because I do think that if you get rid of some of these problems by just forgetting about them, they won't come back again. Some will, some won't. But it's an easy way to get rid of a lot of problems very quickly. You can sort of halve them in one go. And I think what he's done is he's gone away, he's gone back to his parents, he's gone to have a think about what to do next. What I think he should do next is just carry on what he's doing.
If I can quote someone who I work with, who says, problems are like carousels. they just keep coming back around if you don't deal with them. And I think that's genius.